Before we start this video, I just want to mention that only 25% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to support the channel. Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In today's video, we're once again going to be discussing French Beauxbatons student Fleur Delacour. You guys seem to really be enjoying getting to know her character, so I thought I'd oblige and continue to make content covering her. When Fleur is first introduced as a fierce competitor in the triwizard tournament, she showed up at Hogwarts positively unimpressed with her surroundings. When she walked in the room, the most obvious thing about her was that she was strikingly beautiful, but she also gave off a very pompous, arrogant vibe. However, when Harry goes on to save her little sister, Gabrielle, during Task 2 of the triwizard tournament, something which Fleur herself failed to do, Fleur's tone changed quite a bit, dropping the icy attitude and even going on to become friends with Harry. Now, for those that have only seen the films, you probably don't know Fleur very well at all, so most of these things are going to be news to you. As for the book readers, I'm willing to bet that there are still a few things that you didn't know. Either way, sit back, relax, and enjoy my top 8 interesting facts about Fleur Delacour. Number 1. Her heritage. Though Fleur looks almost completely human, she actually has 1/4 Vila blood running through her veins. For those unaware, Vila are semi-human magical beings, beautiful women with white gold hair and skin that appears to shine moon bright. When angry, Vila take on a less pleasant appearance. Their faces elongate into sharp, cruel beaked bird heads, and long scaly wings burst from their shoulders. And this is partially what makes Vilas so enigmatic, as where in one moment they can exude sheer beauty, and the very next moment they can turn into horrific monsters. Harry sees this firsthand. At this, the Vila lost control. Instead of dancing, they launched themselves across the field and began throwing what seemed to be handfuls of fire at the leprechauns. Watching through his omnioculars, Harry saw that they didn't look remotely beautiful now. The beauty of Vilas enchants men who come across them, and despite Fleur only being 1/4 Vila, it was evident that her beauty had an impact on the boys of Hogwarts. Number 2. Her wand. Next up, we have Fleur's wand. Now, in Harry Potter, everyone has a wand unique to them, so no surprises there. But among all of the possible wand combinations in the wizarding world, Fleur's is still pretty unique. Yes, 9.5 inches, inflexible, rosewood, and containing, dear me, an heir from the end of a villa, one of my grandmother's. You see, Fleur's wand possessed an ancestral element, a familial component, villa hair. When Fleur was young, her grandmother gave her the hair that was eventually placed into her wand. Though powerful, the hair of a villa makes the wand very inflexible, as well as exceedingly hard to control. If you think about it, this actually fits Fleur quite well. Number 3. Her beauty. Being a quarter villa, beauty is an important part of Fleur's character. It's described constantly, and because of her heritage, it almost transcends the traditional idea of beauty. Everything about her turns heads, and this is because Vila possessed beauty sort of akin to the sirens of different mythologies, an alluring, irresistible type of beauty. But one really interesting thing about Vila is that they don't completely steal the show with their beauty. In fact, when they're in a positive emotional state themselves, they're able to make those around them seem more beautiful as well. While she was getting married to Bill, Fleur was well and truly happy, and it was at this moment that Harry noticed that even Bill started looking better and better, despite rocking a face full of scars. It would seem that the beauty of Vila has the ability to emanate and affect others to some extent. Number 4. She worked at Gringotts. From 1995 to 1997, starting in the summer of 95, Fleur secured a part-time job at Gringotts. Gringotts, which is operated primarily by goblins, is the only wizarding bank in that part of the world. Despite being French, Fleur's proficiency at speaking English, which developed as time went on, allowed her to work in this setting. It was at Gringotts that Fleur became reacquainted with Bill Weasley, the eldest Weasley child. Bill, who worked as a curse breaker for the bank, had returned from Egypt and secured a desk job, at which point Bill and Fleur started dating. After dating for a brief period, Bill recognized that he was madly in love, prompting him to propose. The two got married shortly thereafter. Number 5. Molly and Ginny hated her. After Bill proposed to Fleur, he wanted her to better know his family, which prompted their extended visit to the Burrow in the summer of 1996. However, it wasn't long before Fleur made a negative impression on the matron of the home, Molly, as well as the Weasley daughter, Ginny. Bill is very busy at the moment, working very hard, and I only work part-time at Gringotts for my English, so he brought me here for a few days to get to know his family properly. I was so pleased to hear you would be coming. There isn't much to do here, unless you like cooking and chickens. You see, Fleur was very proud of her heritage and her background, and this comes across in her demeanor to a certain degree. She was also very outspoken. A good example of this was when she visited Hogwarts for the triwizard tournament, as during her first visit, she made a bit of a habit of complaining about the school, constantly comparing it to her own school, Beauxbatons. She showed similar behavior when visiting the Burrow, comparing it to her own home, and it was this snobbish behavior that the Weasley women picked up on. However, it wasn't all on Fleur. The Weasley women also unfairly judged her by her looks, categorizing her to fit the dumb blonde stereotype. Ginny even had her own nickname for Fleur, Phlegm. Fortunately, Molly and Ginny did eventually realize their mistake of being too harsh on Fleur. This came after Fleur demonstrated her loyalty to Bill following his debilitating injuries inflicted at the hands of Fenrir Greyback. When Fleur stayed with Bill after his appearance changed as a result of his injuries, it became clear that her relationship with him wasn't just superficial or physical, they truly were compatible. Number 6. Children. It should come as no surprise that Bill and Fleur, after getting married, went on to have children of their own. Fleur became the mother of 3 children, Victoire, Louis, and Dominique Weasley, expanding the already prolific Weasley clan even more. Given that both Victoire and Dominique were female, and that Fleur had Vila blood in her veins, her daughters also possessed Vila blood. This made them 1/8 Vila. Technically, Louis had the same blood in him, but it has been reinforced through canon that Vilas are only women. Number 7. Nurse-like tendencies. Though she was not trained as a nurse, it seems like time and time again, Fleur jumped in to provide medical assistance to anyone that needed it. When Bill was savaged by Fenrir Greyback, she cared for him exceedingly well. Similarly, when others like Ollivander, Griphook, Hermione, Ron, Harry, etc. needed medical assistance, she always took them in and cared for them. Fleur poured her heart into caring for people when they needed it, and I have no doubt in my mind that Fleur also possessed an above-average understanding of healing magic. Number 8. Special magical abilities. I've mentioned a few of them already, like her ability to emanate and spread beauty, as well as her ability to help people heal. However, Fleur had a lot more abilities than that. Perhaps most notably, Fleur was considerably talented at producing charms, such as the ingenious Bubblehead charm that she utilized in the Triwizard tournament. Later in life, Fleur also developed a knack for performing household magic, much like her mother-in-law, Molly. With already very strong maternal instincts, these spells helped Fleur to cook and clean. Though Fleur was often preoccupied with caring for people, she still had an edge and was a talented duelist. She was not one to cross. And that's it for this video. Whether you're a book reader, film goer, or both, I hope you learned something new about Fleur Delacour. If you guys enjoy this type of video, I'd be happy to do it for other characters. Just let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, remember, it is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities.